Hi, my name is Andre. My topic is going to be global warming, and so people have heard of global warming, like CO2 emissions, methane gases in the air, ozone layer getting all screwed up and stuff. And people have heard of Al Gore and his claims and his movie and all that stuff too. But what those people do is neglect to give you certain information that I actually found out while I was researching this topic. This wasn't going to be my actual topic until I found out this information. So that brings me to my claim, which is modern day global warming is just another step in the process that has occurred many times over the history of the Earth. So my 3 points for this is that the warming we're experiencing today is just a normal stage in nature's cycle of rebuilding itself and stuff like that. My second point is going to be cooling, ice ages, things like that, is a natural counter to this warming that the Earth creates. And that my third point is going to be that warming today continues these trends that we've seen for many centuries. Okay, so back to my first point, which is that warming is a normal stage in nature's cycle. The most recent warm period, other than right now, was the medieval warm period, which went from the years 800 to 1300, which is modern times. This was a period where crops flourished. In Europe, grapes were being grown up to Great Britain, like modern day England. Grapes were being grown there. Wheat and other grains were being grown all over the place. And in the Americas, that's when tomato, corn, potatoes, chilies all started to flourish. This period actually led Europe out of the Dark Ages. So the temperature on average at that point in time was about ½ degree Celsius higher than it is now. The way they found out also that the sea surface temperature at that point was 1 degree Celsius warmer than it is today, which is about 2.5 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit warmer. They found this out by doing a radiocarbon dated box core test, which is basically they found this out of the Sargasso Sea in the North Atlantic Ocean. They just take a piece of the dirt from the ground pretty much, and they radiocarbon date it, and that's how they found that. Scientists also say that in order for the Vikings to have settled Greenland at that point, and other countries such as Iceland, they would have needed ice-free oceans and ice-free land, much as, it is today. So my second point now, the cooling is a natural counter to the Earth's warming. There was something called the Little Ice Age. It went from the years 1300 to the year 1850. This was after the medieval warm period, obviously, where there was cooling in most parts of the world. It isn't considered a real ice age because the temperatures didn't fall enough for the glaciers to expand, for ice to form larger. Everything cooled down. During this little ice age, the average global temperatures were 1 to 1.5 degrees Celsius cooler than they are today. So this is what caused ice to form back in the oceans and things like that. So then this brings me to my third point, which is the warming today continues these trends. Since the year 1850, the warming trends have been similar to that of the medieval warm period. Right now, the temperature, they don't know how it's going to be in a couple years, but it's probably going to be warmer than it was back then. Okay, well, back to what I said before about grapes and stuff. The grapes were grown in Europe as far as southern Britain, I said. And for comparison today, the grapevines are grown as far north as Gotland, a Swedish island in the Baltic Sea, which is actually a lot more north than England. So in conclusion, the warming today, a lot of people are telling you to be afraid of it, that humans are helping speed up this process, but it's not going to, bring us to an impending doom that we can't escape. It's just going to bring about cooling, which is going to bring about more warmth, which is going to just continue the cycle. So that's how I prove my claim.
Right, you state the claim pretty clearly. The phrasing is a little awkward. There is a listing of the secondary points. They need to be phrased a little more distinctly as claims. They seem like they're background information sometimes. The signposting on those claims as they came up, though, was pretty clear. The main example evidence that you have is the grape information, and we don't get a source citation on that. Later on the factual data, you talk about the range of temperatures from place to place, and we don't, you've got several places where you're citing Gesundheit, some things that would be factual data without telling us where the information came from. And in fact, 3 or 4 places in the speech, the only reference I get to for information is they. They say this, or they say that, or they haven't estimated yet what they're going to be talking about. And that's a very vague reference, so it's hard for me to evaluate the credibility of those sources based on that kind of a citation. I think that is problematic. Presentation, it's clear and easy to hear you. You get kind of a nervous smile at the start of the speech. I think that may be undermining your credibility a little bit. I know you're trying to deal with anxiety issues and you got your friends in the back that you're kind of reacting to, but you need to strengthen it up a little bit at the beginning. You got your hands in your pockets almost the whole time you're speaking. Your feet are shuffling a little bit more than you want. And I don't know if it was just dry mouth or if you've got gum, but there was some smacking going on too as you're moving from word to word. So let's hope it's just the dry mouth kind of thing instead of you're still chewing gum while you're giving a speech. That would be really bad. We'll have to look at the presentation. Watch back on YouTube. You know if you had gum or not. Okay, thank you.